Hi, this is Julene Kiefer. I'm the membership director at the Davis Family YMCA, and I'm joined today by Courtney Bledgy, the aquatic coordinator of the Davis Y. And today we're going to talk about our swim lessons and how to access them, what do they mean. But before we talk about swim lessons, Courtney, I wanted to have a short conversation about drowning. And drowning is the second leading cause of death for children age 14 and under. And that's a very scary statistic.
It is really, really scary. So that's why it's really important to be safe around the water and to learn skills like swimming. It's never too late to learn how to swim. So anybody that's an infant through, an older adult should know how to swim and how to be safe around the water. So we offer lessons for all types of ages so that everybody could actually be safe and learn how to swim, how to be safe around the water, so that hopefully that number of drownings can decrease.
So what does drowning look like? Is it just someone in the water flailing and a lifeguard just goes and rescues?
So typically that's what you think of. More often than not, that is not actually what drowning is. That drowning is a silent process where you slip beneath the surface, you can't breathe anymore, people don't see you as readily, so that's where someone yelling around doesn't usually happen. You become so tired that you can't move or talk, so that's what tends to start happening. So that's why it's really important to be aware of everybody that's swimming where you are.
Wow, that's so scary. In fact, we have a great story about one of our former lifeguards who was involved with our swim team at our Central Y, the Neptunes. Actually, it's Courtney's brother. Courtney, tell us what happened to Michael a few months ago.
So he actually wasn't supposed to, he was up in at a swim meet, and he decided to stay overnight, so he found the nearest hotel and went to see if they had rooms available. And as soon as he walked in to see if there were rooms available there, a guy came running that there was a kid that was drowning in the pool. And Michael, with his training, ran to go see what was wrong. By the time they got there, the child was on the pool deck. He wasn't breathing, and he started CPR. And after a few minutes, he began to cough up some water. And after that, about 30 seconds after that, I guess he started breathing again, so they rolled him into the recovered position. In the meantime, called 911, and he was breathing by the time paramedics got there. So luckily for that child, there was a trained person.
Right. All those years of training as a lifeguard, thank God, was able to actually save the life of a child. So, yay, Michael. Getting back to talking about swim lessons, Courtney, I want to talk about this new brochure that we have available for our parents and guests. This is our swim lesson brochure. You can get this at the desk, service desk at the Davis Y, or you can download it from our website at youngstownymca.org. So, Courtney, I believe our swim lessons are on a 6-week cycle. Is that correct?
We
call them sessions.
We do. Most of them are 6 weeks. So you come for class once a week for 6 weeks. All of the sessions are 6 classes. So the only time that changes is actually in the summertime. And we offer what we call mini sessions in the summer, which are still 6 classes, but you meet twice a week for 3 weeks instead of once a week for 6 weeks. But all the lessons do have 6 classes, depending on whatever the format. Unless there's a holiday, then.
And like our lifeguards, our swim instructors are also highly trained as well.
They are. And so what our swim lessons focus on is not only stroke development, so learning how to swim, but like we were talking about earlier, how to be safe in the water. So you learn rescue skills, you learn how to be safe around the water, who to call, because there's so many times where you're swimming there is no lifeguard. You might be at a hotel or you might be in someone's backyard. So we teach all about safety and rescue as well. We also teach through games in water sports, so things like water polo, so the kids get to have a lot of fun because those skills also help with your swimming, as well as working on personal safety and personal growth, so really getting that child to feel comfortable in the water.
And Courtney, how young do we teach swim lessons to children?
So we actually start swim lessons at 6 months of age, and those from 6 months to 36 months are what we consider parent-child classes. So that means there has to be a parent or an adult in the water with the child, and that's the earliest that we start. And it's as much for the kids as it is for the parents. So it's a water adjustment, how to be comfortable in the water, what to do around the water, what type of flotation to use, how to watch your child, how to give them commands on how to get in and out of the water safely, as well as starting to have fun and be comfortable so they're not scared of the water too.
So the YMCA is the country's leading teacher of swim lessons, so that's very exciting, and they are named after fish.
They
Is that correct?
are. So all the levels are actually named after a fish, and that's because those are what are found in the water. So based on your ability and your age, the class that you're in has the name of the fish. So we talked about parent-child classes.
Mm-hmm.
We also have the next, once you turn 3, we offer preschool lessons. So those are ages 3 to 5, and there's different levels from beginner, intermediate, and advanced in those levels. Once you turn 6, you actually move up to the next set, which are youth lessons, and there are different levels in that as well.
So if I had a child in, let's say, the Pike class, do I just graduate to the next class after the 6-week session, or how does that work?
So that's not actually how it works. They are progressive swim lessons, so that means that you take the same level or the same class until you are able to demonstrate the skills required to move on to the next level, and that can take anywhere from 1 session up to a year or over a year. It just depends on the ability of your child, and it makes, the more you're in the water, the better you get at swimming. So if you bring your child to come and practice swimming, you might see better improvements. If you want specialized attention, we offer private swim lessons, but as well as working with your child as well. Just as much as you're in the water with them, the better they're going to get at it because they get to practice doing it.
So it sounds a lot like youth sports. You don't become an expert overnight. You work with your child and you practice with your child, so that's the same for the water.
It is. So once you complete those set of skills, so for instance, if you're in Pike and you can demonstrate that you can swim on your front, your side, and your back for 5 feet, and also float on your back and your front for 10 seconds, then you'd be able to move on to the next level. But until you demonstrate those skills, you would be in the same class. And so all of the levels have what you'd be able to have to demonstrate to move on to the next level.
Gotcha. And Courtney, in closing, what advice would you give to parents who have maybe a special needs child or a child that maybe is not doing real well in a group type lesson?
So there's a couple different options. We do offer a pre-Pike class that is where the parents actually are encouraged to start out with their child in the water, so you can do that. We offer special populations classes as well for those 6 to 12 years old. And like I mentioned before, we also do have private swim lessons, and that's one-on-one instruction for 30 minutes. But they can also be in the group lessons as well if the parents can get in the water. So there's lots of different options for you.
And the prices of the 6-week sessions, Courtney, would be somewhere between $23 and around $28 for members, and it's going to be about double that for the non-members.
It is.
Does that sound right?
It does. And then you can find out, in addition to the swim pamphlet, we also always have a registration form, so as well as found online, when all the classes are actually offered, because there's different times and days that those classes are offered. So you can, what conveniently works for your schedule.
Well, great. Well, I learned a lot today. If you have any other questions about swim lessons and how the YMCA can help your child be a swimmer, you can contact us at 330-480-5656, online at youngstownymca.org, or you can also find us on Facebook at the Davis Family YMCA. Thanks for watching this tutorial. Bye-bye.